Guys ready? Just waiting for the thumbs up. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to call the public hearing to order, please, June 23rd. I've got a bit of a preamble here. Some of it we need to go through and some of it's just housekeeping. But the purpose of tonight's public hearing is to receive input and comments on Bylaw 14, 2025, Historic Downtown Land Use Amendment Direct Control District. I'm just going to outline some of the procedures the way by which we will be taking your comments tonight. Before I do, I'd like to confirm that the notice of this hearing was published in accordance with Section 606 and 692 of the MGA. Thank you. As you came in, you were given the opportunity to add your name to the speakers list, which I have before me now. We request that all in attendance who wish to make comments ensure that you're on this list. To ensure that the hearing is conducted in a fair manner, we will abide by the following rules. I will initially call on the applicant to present to council on their application and then move to the speakers list. There's no formal presentation by administration tonight during the public hearing, as this is council's opportunity to hear directly from the applicant and affected residents. Once the applicant has completed their presentation and answered any questions from council, I will call on those on the speakers list. And when we've gotten through all of the names on the list, I will ask if there's anyone in the gallery that wishes to speak. When your name is called, please come to the microphone here at the podium, face council, and state your name and any group or association that you may represent. Each person will be given 5 minutes to make their comments, 10 if you're representing a group of 2 or more people. We appreciate everyone working within the allotted time. You'll see on the screen, just want to confirm we're going to have the countdown. Yep. There'll be a countdown timer on the screen keeping you within your 5 minutes or 10. And I will try and keep everyone on their time tonight. I ask that you be courteous and respectful of one another, please, and only one speaker at a time. Ensuring, again, that you're in front of the microphone because we are streaming this and it's very hard to hear the stream or the conversations over the streaming if you're not speaking directly into the microphone. Please do not interrupt another speaker or shout out comments, and please do not engage in dialogue with gallery members. Once everyone has had their opportunity to speak, council may call up the applicant for any clarifying questions. So at the end, the applicant can come back and address any questions that may have arisen throughout the hearing, and council will have an opportunity to ask you questions. Just a reminder, no decisions will be made tonight, as the purpose of this public hearing is to hear from both the public and the applicant. So that's how we're going to roll tonight. And with that, we'll get right to it. And I'll call on the applicant to come forward, please. And I see that you guys are on the list. We don't need you on the list. And as the
Good afternoon. Thank you, Your Worship and Council members. My name is Randy Caspel, and I'm the owner and or shareholder of the properties in this proposal. And how do we there we are, bring up the proposal. Thank you. While this project is not specifically listed under the latest land use designation, is it actually outside the reality of the functioning of the life in our town? These are 3 questions I'd like you to listen to. Would the proposed project historically fit the functioning nature of life in our town? And does the proposed project make sense from a best and highest use, given the actual size and designation, geographical nature of the land in question? We recognize the council and town planners have a very difficult job developing a vision for the community, transitioning from a small, quaint Alberta town to an expanding metropolis, which is happening at a very rapid rate. However, I've been shocked going through this process that while as a property owner on behalf of the potential purchaser, I've had to post 2 large signs on our property for over a month advertising the application use of this change. The town, however, without notification to myself or the surrounding landowners, arbitrarily changed the land use. This raises at least a fairness question, if not a legal question. That said, I would like to reflect on the framework of the historical downtown, which is the new designation of the area in the original town site. History refers to something that has happened or existed in the past. The area now designated as the historical downtown covers an area much larger than the original downtown of the village or later the town of Cochrane. The specific properties referred to in this application were used for single-family homes in a historical sense, until the property at 221 2nd Avenue West was developed in 1999, and in more distant past, 316 3rd Avenue West was divided to be part of the highway realignment. The property 217 Avenue West has been used as a single-family home for over 100 years, but it would not be allowed to remain as such under the new designation. The latest designation of historical downtown was intended to reflect a more recent history, say the last 50 years, we would again see a much different picture than what the historical use would designate. We can go into here. In the recent past, properties developed directly to the east, south, and west of the subject properties housed a gas station, fast food restaurant, fire hall, municipal hall, library, community hall, takeout pizza restaurant, sports bar, and strip mall. Each one of these historical uses were developed to provide community and service requirements for the local residents and traveling public. Vehicular traffic flowed through and to each of these locations because it was the main traffic corridor going through the town of Cochrane. That has not changed and has only been enhanced with the widening of the route in the last 5 years. That is the historical nature which gave my family the vision for the development of a drive-through coffee shop. The property, which had been on the market for over 3 years because of its shape and size, and it was a derelict property where homeless people would stay overnight. The owner had died 4 years previous. Our family relocated from the West Coast back to the Calgary area where I grew up. We owned and operated a car wash and a drive-through coffee shop just south of the Canadian border in a small town similar to the size of the town of Cochrane. Having experience of owning and operating that type of business, we had a vision that we could make use of this piece of land to create something that would be beneficial to the town. I'd refer you to the letter that I sent to each of you in my letter of perspective for more detail. In 2006-2007, due to a number of factors, one of which was the rapidly changing nature of the town, myself and a local developer worked to put together agreements for sale for the lots on 3rd Avenue from Main Street all the way to the 1A highway, for the purpose of creating a large housing complex with a commercial component. The project was named Concord Junction. This project would have provided 140 residential suites with designated suites for lower income families, seniors, rental, and a variety of other suites. A significant factor in the project moving forward was our purchasing of 316 3rd Avenue West from the town after arranging with Alberta Transportation to sell that to the town. As I stated in my letter of perspective, due to difficulties with the planning department departing from the directive of council, the window of opportunity for this development closed and only resulted in our family providing the town with over a 50,000% return on the property, and as of today, paying tens of thousands of dollars in taxes on that property. This property has no practical use except as a consolidated property with other adjacent lots because it has no access point. However, with the right project, it could provide an important area for parking and green space. You can see the 316 on the right-hand side. In 2017, not 2018 as indicated in my letter of perspective, myself and 2 other businessmen from the town were approached by a local charity to provide affordable housing for young mothers, and FCSS expressed interest in residence and office space if we were able to develop what we were envisioning. 2 factors killed this second attempt to build something that would be beneficial to the town. First was the original charity not being ready to pursue the scope of the project that had originally been requested, and second was the decision of the adjacent landowner to pull out of the project and subsequently sell the property to another individual who has no desire to do a collaborative project. The window of opportunity on that closed as well. I share this to demonstrate that together with multiple property owners, town officials, and financiers to work together is very difficult at best. Even the town, consolidating the properties which contain the gas station, restaurant, fire hall, municipal hall, and library, has resulted in, I believe, 2 projects falling through. A large parcel of prime land in Cochrane sits idle today with no revenues being generated for the taxpayers of Cochrane. Again, as I stated in my letter of perspective, we have held the 3 properties together at a cost to our family in order to ensure that something functionally, visibly appealing, financially beneficial to the town could be built, rather than selling each parcel individually, which would result in a much more piecemeal land use at a prime visual location in the town. Lastly, I'd like to come back to historical downtown designation. For this and the surrounding properties. The area that would accurately be designated historical downtown would encompass the area from Fifth Avenue to Main Street and Second Street. Remaining area would encompass the plan that was historically used for either farmland, single-family homes, or more recently in the past 50 years, commercial or highway usage. The downtown heritage designation is an arbitrary designation with no actual heritage foundation for the total area within its designation. The development being proposed fits the actual historical usage of this area along the highway and fits as the best use of a difficult piece of land. It will provide a visibly appealing building to the area with the nature of the business. It will enhance the historical downtown business area without affecting the overall objective of the historical downtown designation. It also ensures 3 properties will remain as a block of land rather than being developed in a piecemeal fashion. I believe if you honestly reflect on the 3 questions I posed at the beginning of the presentation, you'll come to the following conclusion. This project fits the functioning nature of how the area of the town was developed in the past and how it will best function going forward. It's one of the 2 major arteries going through the town and will remain as long as the town exists. Yes, it would fit the historical usage of that area that existed in the past 50 years. With constraints of the surrounding properties and the size of the geographical nature, the subject properties would also make sense from the highest and best use. So in closing, if not this project, which historically, economically, and functionally and visibly fits, enhances the area in question, then what? Do the properties remain as they exist today for another 30 years? Thank you for your time. I turn it over to Dean, the owner of the proposed business. My apologies for trying to race through this.
I should say, you guys don't have to go within the 5 minutes.
Oh, we were told
Sir,
we had
yeah.
5 minutes each.
No, you're good. You're,
That's why
as,
I
an,
read it
as the applicant, no.
at
Sorry for
breakneck
that.
speed, so-
Yeah,
Okay, my apologies.
yeah.
Good evening, Council. My name is Dean Hall. Like Randy said, I'm the one proposing to bring Mobile One Lube Express to the community of Cochrane. And a little bit of past history of us to get started is, first of all, we're an independently owned company. We are not corporate, which allows us the free range to address supporting the local community as needed basis. We've gone everywhere from, backing up. Currently, we have a store in Sylvan Lake right now, and we have another store in Red Deer in Clearview Market Square. And being non-corporate, it allows us to act accordingly to support the community. Like I said, we range from sponsoring sports teams to individual events to individual people, and we're allowed to do that. We fly the Mobile brand, but we are not under the corporate umbrella of what Mobile One is. Our business was based off of a service-driven basis. I just saw a need. There was a gap in this market. When people go there, they feel uncomfortable. And I actually based this business around non-mechanically inclined people. And I had, and not to be chauvinistic or anything, but I have lots of women friends, and they all came to me, and they're always asking me questions. Like, Dean, am I getting the right deal here, or do I need to replace a headlight and this and that? So I actually based our service off of the comfortability to women is where it all started. And then it just, I realized that it grew into, both sexes not knowing the mechanical side. And so that's where we're based. Our core base was driven from. I have a business partner who's been in the industry for 20 years. I come from a construction basis. So we were fortunate enough, we got to design our own building, which is my specialty. And and he brought in the service side of it, and our team works really well. And so when I designed the building, I wanted something different than the stereotypical greasy garage. And we shedded that look. As you can see, we went with as much glass as we could. We wanted a very clean, modern look. We expanded our basement downstairs so that all the parts are down in the basement. There's no fan belts, there's no oil up in the windows. Yes, we have some in the center just for marketing reasons, but everything is a clean look. We go to the extent of epoxy floor. Our windows are cleaned weekly. Our staff, right down to the uniforms that they wear, is what I call non-intimidating, because our vehicles that we drive today are our second most important asset that we own next to our home. And with the price of vehicles now, we need to look after them. And service is a crucial part of it. And this community needs it. You know, with the population of Cochrane and growing the way it is, we feel that it's desperately needed here. So I want to jump to the architectural control of what we are. So the building was designed to match any architectural control wherever my partner and I decide to take the facility. And we feel if there's a concern on the architectural control to blend into what is considered the historic part of downtown, we feel we have that look that brings a vibrant, clean, Western theme to the downtown, yet with a modern flair to it. And yeah, so sorry, I haven't done this for quite a while. As far as going back to our business, our non-commissioned employees drives a more comfortable atmosphere for our clients. And when I say commission-based, all the competitors that are corporate commission their staff. So, you know, there's lots of things being pushed that don't really need to be pushed, and we don't drive our business that way. We believe in service and return clientele. If you have an opportunity to take a look at our store in Sylvan Lake and Clearview Market Square in Red Deer and have a chance to just glance through the Google reviews, it's pretty self-explanatory, the type of service that we bring to the community. And being able to move the way we do, like obviously the FCSS is right beside this location, and you know we would be able to help that facility out. You know, it's as simple as, you know what, it's helping free inspections on someone's car, just so that we know that in today's world of complicity to these vehicles, you know that you're driving a safe vehicle. And that's just another one of those avenues where we get to maneuver accordingly to whatever the community needs. As far as the traffic control, which would be a concern, the traffic flow for this lot in particular works really well for our facility. It impedes no extra traffic to the downtown unless once they come in, they want to explore farther. They basically, within that one block, people are allowed to come in and exit and without any interruption of the downtown area. As Randy said before, it used to be a existing coffee shop with, I believe, an average of a vehicle every 2 minutes, which calculates to quite a bit of traffic. Our traffic is somewhat limited like a busy day for us would be 40 vehicles. Our services are anywhere from 15 minutes to sometimes 30, depending on the services being provided to the client. So the traffic the traffic control would not increase what the lot has been used to in the past. We proposed an addition to this with the car wash, and we did suggest originally to the town that we'd like to add a dog wash to the car wash to help include the downtown walking area. As a dog owner myself, these are one of those facilities that just seem like they don't pop up in these type of areas where we actually need them the most. So we'd like to implement that. There wasn't really a category for it, so it was actually removed out of the original application. But we would like to add that in if possible. And basically, in closing, that is kind of where I'm at. And with this location of this facility, if it isn't allowed for this lot, one thing with the town, where is it allowed to go? Because there is no land for this facility in the town of Cochrane. The town is on such a growth curve, there literally is not a lot available to build this facility, which will employ approximately 12 more people to the town, and obviously taxes. And one part I did not mention is our average per store injected into the community is usually about $50,000 in added contribution back to the community. I'm all about giving back. I've been very blessed in the province of Alberta, and it's all about hard work and making dreams happen. And I have a pay it forward attitude. And to me, if a community is being good to me, I like to give back to the community. So, and that is very clear in our other two locations. And on that being, on that last comment, that's basically where we're at. We're just a very community-orientated, local business owners, and we would like to grow within your community. And we think we bring, we don't think, we know we bring value to the community. And we'd really love the opportunity to prove that and be part of it and help this community grow in infrastructure. For me, it's really important on a non-corporate basis. I am not a corporate fan. And I just think that if given the opportunity, I think everyone in the community would absolutely enjoy what we have to bring. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. This is when we'll open it up to council with any questions. Councillor Federico?
Thank you for the presentation. I was curious about your operating hours. What would they look like Monday through, I'm assuming Saturday, Sunday? Is it 7 days a
Yeah,
week?
so we base our operation on a 7-day basis. We operate from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Monday to Saturday, and Sunday we are 8 a.m. to, sorry, correction, we are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. And the Sundays was a real controversial one for us, and we just found that people in the working world needed that service on a Sunday, and it just worked out really great. And it's actually, the numbers are working for us, so we actually kept it open because it was a test pilot for us on those hours on the Sunday.
Perfect. Thank you for the explanation. And now I have a question for administration. Following up to Mr. Hall's point of if this is not the appropriate land, do we have other land available that would be suitable for this type of application?
I think Councillor Federico there's no interface with administration at the public hearing.
Okay.
At second reading. is when we would bring that forward, but I think that's a question that administration would field during that time.
We have made notes, so we'll be able to answer that question upon the return.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Flowers?
Yes, with 12 staff, where would they be parking?
12 staff total. At any given time, we have 4 to 5 on staff. Because we run 7 days a week, we have to run 10 to 12 staff. So that's how we operate our rotation. And our parking, it's one more. So in the green, right in the pie end, the little bit of parking lot with the added park that we designed in there for public, there's plenty of parking for our 4 to 5 vehicles in that area. So that's how we deal with that.
And with the easement, there's no other way to do it. They would have to drive through the Housing Society parking lot?
As of right now, it is there. I have looked at this a lot. I've spent quite a bit of time on that lot. I do have the ability to maneuver around that possibly if the town will let me work with the design part on
Councillor Reid?
Could I just speak to that question?
Oh, yep, please.
So the easement that is on there was in place in 1995, prior to the death of the individual that previously owned the property. And the whole purpose was was to ensure that property, those two properties would never be landlocked, because they foresaw that if something changed, that property would always be landlocked. So that is the purpose. It was on there, and it was maintained through multiple processes. And Dean may be able to work with council in doing some changes or tweaks, but like we said before, there was no issue when we had the drive-through with traffic impeding anything or having an issue within that framework. It was designed, and that's why it was put back to the alleyway type situation, so that it wouldn't affect the use and enjoyment.
You or your realtor, have they any meetings with members of council on this issue?
Have we met up with other council members?
Yes.
Yes, I've also sent out emails to every individual here, with a letter of explanation of what we are and what we present.
So what members of council have you met with privately?
The two on the ends.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor McFadden?
Yeah, thank you very much. So with your application, it's a direct control piece? You're asking for a direct control land use on this?
Correct.
And so can you talk to your comfort level about that, or how that has landed as a direct control ask?
The only reason I know it's a direct control is just the way we were guided from town development. And
By administration.
yes. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but
No, well, it's just kind of, so when we use direct control, that allows administration to have extra tools in kind of the design of the site. And
Yeah.
so I was just trying to understand kind of your comfort level to kind of, I guess, meet in the middle, or to be blending your business design with administration's expectations. Direct control is just an extra level of control that's
yeah,
placed on it.
the way that I operate myself in the design of the facility, I can work with anyone on design, on whatever helps the situation of whatever that is. I'd like to, again, I come back to not being corporate. We're allowed to move and do what we need to make it work best for the community.
And so, not a question for yourself, but just a flag for administration. When we do have a chance to have that conversation, if you could speak to thoughts around the direct control of the site. And then secondly, the landowner had identified that they didn't feel that they'd been notified or engaged in the land use change, and if you could just be prepared to speak to that at that time, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other questions at this time. You both did great, by the way. If you haven't been doing this for a while, Mr. Hall, you did okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Appreciate you engaging in our process. So we'll go to the speakers list now, but like I said at the beginning, any of the questions that are asked or anything that arises, you have an opportunity to come up at the end.
Yep.
To clarify and have another line of questioning from council.
That sounds great.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
First up on the speakers list is Mr. Lyle Balmer.
Make a comment about how far that is to walk, but I think the last time you told me my clock started as soon as I stood up, so.
It hasn't started yet.
Hello, and thank you for letting me speak to you tonight. My name is Lyle Balmer. I am the chair for the Cochrane Society for Housing Options. CSHO owns and operates 35 affordable housing units in Cochrane. 21 of those are at the Homestead Building, which is the property just directly to the south of this property in question here. Our tenants in that facility are families, they're seniors, they're retired military vets, they're people with children, they come from all walks of life. We consider them family. Some of them I would even call my friends. I have 3 reasons that I'd like to bring in front of you tonight to think about. It's difficult to speak even intelligently about this because this is the first time I'm really seeing anything on this. In fact, when I came back off vacation, if somebody hadn't have said to me, you want to go look at that sign that's buried in the bushes on the property, I would never have known about this. And I thought we had a process that neighbors would be notified, but I can't find sign of a letter. Not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I can't find being notified. So I would like to have a peek at that with administration sometime in the near future. My first reason for being against this development on this property is because the blue building, the homestead, is less than 13 meters away from this business. We have at least 6 tenants who have balconies directly overlooking the business, and they will, for the rest of their lives, listen to car washes and traffic from, I think it was 8 until 6 days a week, and 9 till 5 on Sunday. And what that does to them is the noise, the overspray, and the traffic reduces their enjoyment of their home. And one of the things that the presenter reminded me is that our home is our most important asset. They don't get to continue to enjoy that to the same way they do today. The second issue is traffic. The slide that's conveniently up there still, the current business or the business that was there, the computer business, accessed his business through an easement through our parking lot along the east side of that fence. Not an ideal situation, but it wasn't onerous because we saw probably 4 to 5 cars a day through there. I can't imagine how we're going to stick handle over 200 cars a day. I believe that's how many we could on a busy day go through there. Those cars, by the way, will travel within a meter of my playground where we have children playing. I don't see that as being ideal. The third reason is just simply location. This is a bad idea in my mind for the 1A entrance westbound into Cochrane. As you hit the historic downtown core, you come across a car wash would not be my first choice. There's going to be, we hope, a seniors facility across the street. You have our facility directly to the south. I don't see this as being a great use of space. I think when I look at the presentation, I think that's an attractive looking business, not at this location. That's the end of it. I am pleased to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Mr. Balmer. Not seeing any questions from council.
Appreciate it. I'll close by saying, please please think hard about this. We have a lot of families that live directly over top of that piece of property, and this is not a great idea. Nice-looking business, wrong location. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ken Morris, I see not presenting, okay. That exhausts the speakers list. I'll just call on anyone else in the gallery that wishes to speak for or against. Okay, please come to the podium. State your name, we can get you on the record.
My name is Randy Harris. Most people know me as Radar. I'm ex-military. I moved to Cochrane specifically because Cochrane stands for an ideology that I have been watching and being a part of ever since I was a kid. So every time we had time off, leave, or whatever, I'd come in through and check out Cochrane because it was a pretty cool place. When it came time for me to settle, I picked Cochrane for one reason, and it has an ideology, it has an integration, not just with the environment, but with the people. It's unique, and I love it. It's great. It's why I moved here. And it took me 8 months to get into this place. It's very serviceable to me because I can walk. Not necessarily do I have to take my vehicle all over the place because it's right downtown. It's awesome. I'm a part of all of the place, like the lights and the outhouse races. That's kind of why I wanted downtown. I'm not married and I don't have kids, so I always wanted to be surrounded by the community, be a part of it. One of my balconies is overlooking that plot of land, and I love the trees. I love that because then I get to see the trees and the coulee wall, as well as the hang gliders, and it just sets a really great example. So I just thought I'd say that I don't have any doubt in my mind that this place would be successful. A lot more traffic, a lot more sort of like disruption type thing. I like it because it is as close as I can get to the downtown core without a lot of the busy parts. That's why I didn't pick like a suburb or a little bit further out. I like being able to walk a couple blocks down and saying hi to a lot of the friends and family that I've met. So on that note, thank you for listening. Just thought I'd put my 2 cents in.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I don't see any questions. Is there anyone else in the gallery wishing to speak? Okay, please come forward.
Hi, my name is Brenda Tennant, and I have been a resident of Cochrane for coming up to 41 years now. And I am a resident of the homestead, and my suite also faces the north onto this property that is looking to be developed. And I am quite concerned about the noise level, particularly with a car wash. I'm sure we've all been through a car wash. We know the sound it makes. There is already a significant amount of noise from the highway, and people just cutting through that property, through that driveway. So that's my biggest concern is the car wash and the noise that it would make. And I think that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I will call again. Anyone in the gallery wishing to speak tonight? I can't see behind the pillar, but I don't see anyone moving back there. Okay, I'm going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, we'll go back to the applicant. Do you guys want an opportunity to address anything that you heard in the hearing, or council, do you have any questions of the applicant?
I appreciate everyone's input, and I understand everyone's concerns. Some of the main ones I just wrote down. Traffic noise. As far as traffic noise, I don't think anything's going to be there as far as excessive noise than what you already received now from Highway 1A. The comment of 200 cars a day, I only wish it would be 200 cars a day, but it is not. It would be anywhere from 40 to 50 is our average on a good day. I understand the concept of looking out over your balcony. I'm very big on the aesthetics of a building and the look with proper landscaping and proper placement of trees. I believe the look can be achieved. I think the look that we will present is a lot more aesthetically pleasing to look at than what's currently there now. No offense to Randy, but they are derelict buildings right now, and I think it would actually, with working with the town and landscaping, look at the building, I believe that problem can be resolved. At some point in time, I know, there are balconies and they're facing that way, but at some point in time, something has to be built on that lot. And for the people that have balconies, maybe it's a 4-story complex that goes there and you lose your view completely to the north. That's a possibility. The car wash, I can fully respect that. And we could obviously do research on decibel levels, and with the world of technology, I'm sure that we can get decibel readings down to something very, very reasonable. And that's all up for discussion. Our main business is not the wash. I would like to bring it in because I think it's complementary to what we do. And the biggest concern I hear is this easement, and I know it's a real tender soft spot for many people, and I know Randy is pushed and knows the importance of it to these other lots. I do have a way to work around it if that is a big block for people. I heard the playground, if we could reduce the traffic and the playground can actually grow in size at the FCS facility, well, I can look at that too. I'm willing to work with the community. And I said this when I first had my meeting with the town. I'm not here to fight my way in. I want to be welcomed in. And if people dislike me, well, I don't want to be there. Why would you want to go where you're not wanted? So I'm not out for a fight. I'm out to work with people. And if anyone has personal concerns, and I'm free, anyone can have my phone number, they can have a talk, I'll have a meeting. I understand it's people's homes, and we all got to get along, but we also have to grow. Towns have to grow. I hope I answered some of those questions there.
Yeah, I think you did, and I think we have one from Councillor here. Councillor McFadden?
Yes, thank you very much. And so kind of what I was hearing was, concerns particularly about the car wash. You said you'd respond to the decibel piece, but when you said you're expecting, 30 to 40 upwards slightly for customers through that, that's for the oil change shop, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
and so I know how popular our car washes are and in demand in Cochrane, and I could see that. I can really feel that would be a concern for traffic, because our current car washes, people on a nice day line up on the street, and it causes problems. So yeah, so I don't know if you have, I guess my question at the end of the day is do you have forecasted numbers for the car wash? Because my experience of car washes in Cochrane is they're busy places.
I don't have that. I could get that for you. I based it off of what's gonna be going through the oil change facility. So you
One was the easement you were just speaking of. Is that the laneway that continues to the south?
That's correct.
To the west of the current building?
That's correct.
And who currently owns that, or who controls that laneway? I don't understand that portion of this project.
That is an easement that was put on again in 1995 to ensure that traffic flow through the downtown corridor would not be hindered for those two properties. So basically, the rights to use that is designated to the two lots, 217 and 221 Second Avenue West.
So it's shared by both yourself and the FCSS property owners?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, thank you. And then I also had a question about, should this project be granted to move forward, the transition zone between the current playground and then where the cars are coming through? What's that likely to look like with fencing and landscaping, et cetera, et cetera? Will there be any barrier between that, or I'm not clear on how it currently looks as it is?
It would currently just stay the way it is, because it's there now. It's designed for that. It was designed around the drive-through of that current facility.
Okay, could you just elaborate what currently sits there then, as I look at that?
Randy, could I suggest you perhaps point out for council where exactly the playground is?
Okay,
If you use the
playground
cursor.
is back in this area right here, and there, I can't remember if there's fencing on the playground.
I've got the cursor on the.
Thank you, there we go.
Yeah, so the playground is right, thank you, whoever's working the most, that's perfect. So that's where the playground is, and the traffic flow is on the other side of that playground, going straight down through basically like a back alley is what it was
And
designated as.
it's currently fenced now.
It's currently fenced, thank you. And then on the, so that helps me answer that, and then on the southernmost area of your property there that is adjacent to the FCSS building, it has the
You're talking about, see if I can do this.
the
Along
line. Yeah, I'm just wondering what's currently there. Is there a fence there? Is there?
in here?
Yes. thank you.
Currently, there is it's an old wooden fence, but it's mainly carrageenan trees
Okay,
that go along this entire area.
okay, and that's the plan to remain that way, should it be
No,
moved forward?
that would be all new landscaping, new fencing, because right now it's a dilapidated wood fence.
That fence has probably been there 70 years.
Okay, thank you very much. I was just trying to envision what the final
Yeah,
product
so that
look
would all
like.
be
Okay.
upgraded to something aesthetically pleasing and architecturally controlled.
Okay, thank you for going through that with me. Appreciate it.
Councillor Federico?
One last question. If the car wash became kind of the make it or break it opportunity, would you consider removing the car wash from the proposal?
I would consider it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
For you gentlemen, appreciate you spending time with us tonight, and thank you for the presentation.